Good afternoon and happy March. It's already feeling a little bit weird with Mercury retrograde, so hopefully this this will go smoothly. Um, I've already had a few days of Mercury retrograde, and things just seem off. So what I wanted to do, I have some things here that I wanted to talk about, and so let me see what I actually. So one of the things I was wanting to talk about was I recently started doing this. So on the first of the month, I've been blowing cinnamon in, stand on the outside of the house and blow cinnamon in, and I wanted to, just so I could tell you. So it's an ancient popular ritual believed to attract prosperity, abundance, and success by blowing the spice from outside through the front door threshold. Practitioners symbolize inviting positive energy and financial growth into their lives. So, some of you may already do this, but I found that it's been beneficial, especially as I'm now much more into clearing my house on a regular basis, which is what I've done this morning. And I didn't realize that how long it had taken me because we had a few hiccups. So I wanted to talk about sort of what can happen when you set an intention and it doesn't go as planned. So have backup. So I've talked a lot about my son and how he's had negative attachments and all of that stuff. I feel like I'm sort of like like I'm, oh, that's better, because I felt like I'm like way back there. So this morning, my intention was to sage the house, so, lighting sage, and then I walk around the house with a feather, or sometimes I blow it, but it can also make you dizzy if you do too much of it, so be careful. Um, my intention was to clear the house with sage, open some windows, let the negative energy out if there is any. My house is pretty high vibrational. I've explained as well how I use high vibe music. I sage, I burn incense, and do as much as I can, right, as humanly possible is what I'm going to say. I also have the dragons sometimes just run around it because they like to chase off anything. And I also bring in some really bright white light from the highest source and blast it throughout my house. So there's lots of things you can do on that level. But today, first of all, I had trouble lighting the sage. And this is the sage I used last week that lit really well, smoked as I wanted it to. Today, it just didn't want to. I tried blowing on it. I tried upside down. I tried all sorts of things. Got into my son's room. I got some smoke going. Got into my son's room and it completely went out. And then it wouldn't even light. We tried different lighters, just couldn't get it. And then I was like, oh, I know. So my son also is very intuitive, and he said, oh, there are things in my room that are stopping you, that are literally putting it out as you're trying to light it. So and I refer to them as my ting ting bells. I'm like, oh, I know what lower energy doesn't like. They're temple bells. And they really don't like it. What I sort of see or perceive them doing is they're like, because it's a real, if you use them, you go like ting ting ting, and you can feel it vibrating throughout. And they do not like that. Lower entities, lower vibrational things, dark energy, they don't like it. They literally scatter. So I literally did the ting ting and decided, well, I'm not going to get it lit in the house. Give that one up. So I went around the house opening windows. It's actually, we had a really nice day yesterday, so I didn't even start off with my weather forecast. Yesterday was like 50 degrees. We saw some melting of snow. The temperatures went down overnight. Woke up to, what is it, it's probably like 30 degrees, I think. 32. Oh, give me a couple of degrees. So it was snowing this morning. So if you follow me on Facebook, I posted a couple of things. I'm like, oh, it's snowing. I'm not even going to get up early. I do often use Sundays as my quieter day, um, but I usually jump on and do this. So after I did that, my son and I had a long conversation in his room about his personal dragon. And one of the things that my son's learning is his personal dragon needs to be told. And I've had conversations with quite a few people about this. It's like you can't just sit there and go, where are the dragons? You've got to ground yourself. It's like a repeated mantra for me to anybody, oh, excuse me, is about grounding. So that's really important, but also to not only, oh, excuse me, I don't know, I get all these weird things when I start coming on and talking about them, right? So I'm grounded, I'm cleared. So I have my wise owl on today. Um, so yeah, they don't want me to talk about it clearly. So clearing your house is really important. So I not only did I clear the house, I blew in cinnamon, I cleared the house, opened some windows. Oh, that's where I got to. Even though it's cold, open the windows so that when you burn sage, you want them to leave. So you open some windows, close them up when it's really cold. I did that. I then did my I do it weekly. You can do it more often, but I do a cleansing scrub that I make with salt and various other things, and I literally scrub myself with salt down. I think probably if I was doing more SRT work or lost soul rescue, I would do it more often. But right now, I only feel called to do it once a week. I put actually, I've been using patchouli. So it's like coconut oil, salt, some baking soda, and when you sort of mix it up with some water or whatever you want to use, sometimes it starts to foam up. And then I go from my feet all the way up, paying attention to like under your arms, groins, feet, bottom of your feet need to get really well scrubbed. Under our arms, under breasts, groins, all of those places where energy can like decide to hide. And then it leaves your skin with the coconut oil, depending on how much you use, leaves your skin nice and soft, at least for a day or two. So you don't need to follow it up with a whole load of stuff. So I find that practice right now really helpful. I haven't been burning sage as often as I used to, but I often use incense, sage incense. I've got dragon's blood, so doing all of that. So that was what I wanted to talk about. It is the 1st of March. We do have a blood moon on March 3rd, which is, I believe that's a new moon. Let me see. March blue moon is the 2nd full moon. Oh, so that's... March features a worm moon with the total lunar eclipse, so that's the 3rd. And it has a blue moon on the end of the month. So 2 full moons. A lunar eclipse and a full moon. I don't know about anybody else, but I've certainly been feeling more more of irritation for me. There are some things I guess that are releasing that are sort of I'm feeling that are rubbing up against me. I called it peopling on Friday, and apparently that's a word. So I said I'm done with peopling today. And then I went out to a couple of hours comedy show just so I could laugh, because one of the things often is when I find when I get really irritated and things are like rubbing me, I really need to go and do something fun. So I went with my younger son, who's adult. When I say younger son, he's 38. We went to one of the local breweries and saw a couple of comedians. Um, I'm going to say that they were a little bit young comedy for me. They were definitely college type humour, but there were some funny things. They directed a lot of it at the audience that were probably older audiences than they were used to. So some of them went down well, some of them not so much. But it was a night out, that's all I can say. And it wasn't snowing, so bonus there because we had 2 days this week. I only feel, I know, already I feel like the month has gone by. So what else was I going to talk about? Because if I didn't write it down, oh, clearing sage, stuck energy, talked about that. Yeah, so also I've mentioned before that there's this group of dragons that Merlin is calling young bloods, and they are in training, mainly in training to work in the field of lost soul rescue, which is what they like to do, which is either gathering earthbounds that need to cross over, helping clear large areas. And actually somebody else who works with Merlin has said the same thing. So Merlin is in the background. Today this morning he showed me a really old-fashioned clock, like a big clock face, and then he put a big red cross through it and he said, today's my day off. I have nothing to do with them, I'm resting, because as he often reminds me, he's as old as dirt and he needs a day off. But they have been chasing a lot of lower energies, and they've been coming, actually without me, I don't even have to be there. I work at an old state hospital, or my office is, I should say. I don't work there, my office is there. And they've been in the underground tunnels this past week, chasing lower energies. And of course at state hospitals there's a lot of dark energy. I think it was last year, I walked around the grounds and took pictures, and it really does feel like there are people looking out at you, the eyes are looking at you. There's a lot of, and we see this as well with those lower energies. So I'm hoping to do some work clearing that area as well for the lost souls that are stuck and need crossing over. Some can be there. Once we find something like this, you can often have to go down into the layers because it's just seeped, or it's come up. So that's what's been happening on the dragon front. The other bit of exciting news, and it feels like I've known this for a while, but I realised I haven't, is that I've agreed to be in another multi-author book. And it's one of those things that when I say I'm never going to do that again, that's what I do. This book is the Dragon Codes, and V is the one that is organising this with her publishing company. I will keep you abreast. The book should be published in the fall, early fall, in September, and it's going to be much easier to buy. Just going on Amazon, so we don't have to do the hard sell. It's going to go through a couple of places that are easier to sell. It will sit in bookstores, we hope. And it's going to be all of what we've learned from the dragons, or whatever it is that we do with dragons, to bring that into book so that people can learn from it. Immediately, my Galactic Elder Dragon Council said, yes, we'll be talking. So they've made up their mind. I will be talking about elder wisdom, is what they've told me. That's what my chapter is going to be about, because it's something I had to learn to tap into. It wasn't hard, but it was something that I hadn't realised, that what was important right now was for that elder wisdom. And it just so happens that I also connect with the collective, which are the Galactic Elder Dragons. It's a dragon council. There are many of them, but this is a Galactic Elders. So they are sort of overseen by the Galactic dragons, which, if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I have a connection with them as well. Uh, Multiple collectives, and they're literally doing this. They're like, we can't wait to have out, because that's what they've asked me to do all along, has been to actually, I was just looking at my recorder. I just had a, I hate these. I just had a look and I'm like, am I not recording? But I am. When you get into this whole long thing. So yeah, so they asked me several years ago, or they actually told me, they didn't ask me, they told me that I was their voice and they wanted me to talk for them so that people here on Earth and across the galaxies would hear the message. So it's going to be interesting. I don't even know what it's going to be yet, but it's going to start happening, and I think it's going to be an exciting. There will be a gathering of all of us that have contributed, and I can tell you more as it unfolds, but we definitely have an outline. We know what our role is. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited because there are lots of people that I've worked with over the years. And I've also been talking with Dina, and we do have dates, and we've got our act together. But I will talk about that another time once we've got our flyers out, that we're going to be doing one of our events, which will involve me channeling and Dina either drawing or bringing some of her paintings. But stay tuned for that. So as I was sitting down to think, what is the influence for March, and leaving all the outside noise. I'm not going there. I'm not a person that goes there about what's going on either in the media or there. I'm concentrating on what do we need to do. And as I'm sitting looking here, I realize blue is very prominent. I've got my angel crystal here and my dragon magic, and I realised as well that March, and I only know this because March is my birthday month, aquamarine is the stone for March. So blue is the theme. I have Kyle Gray's Gateway of Light activation that I'm going to pull from. Fairies were very much wanted to talk because of the butterfly that is on here. I don't know if you can see this, but I have butterflies, unbeknown to me. These are my nails for this week, and they have butterflies on them. I felt it was very spring-like, especially yesterday. It was like 50, and I didn't even put the goddess cards. How about that? And so what did I have? The activation fairies, and angels and auras. That's the other one, angels and auras. So I'm going to see whether we need the goddess cards. I know I use them every week. So the dragon card this week is Dragon Journey. And it says, we dragons adore a quest. Adventure now beckons. So go forth on this sacred journey until treasure, the true purpose of this quest, is yours. And the treasure, why it's you, human child. I love this when I pull it. I pulled it out of 55 cards for us this week. So we're going on a journey and we're going to find treasure. We're going to find ourselves. So that's the theme for the messages for this week. I'm actually going to go to the activation, Gateway of Light activation cards first. I felt drawn to them because it is a portal that open on the 1st. Actually, the 3rd will be the portal. We also had one on 2/26. It was 20/26/26. That was a weird day as well. I had to put out a few fires on that day. I mean, not literal fires, but things coming up that were weird. There've been a lot of weird things since the last week. I think as we stepped into retrograde, Not my favourite time, but I'm trying to stay positive because it is about being quieter. So let's see what the activation cards have to say. The central sun, which next Sunday our clocks go forward here in the United States. Abundance, downloads, regression, or regeneration and success. Regression. This is the sacred inner space, sacral chakra, tenderness and sensuality. And let's see what the other one is. Oh, doesn't want to come out. Chamber of the violet flame, karmic release and radical transformation. So let me see. So the central sun, I think, really speaks to, because here is what looks to me like a bumblebee with wings, because they're starting to wake up. Probably not here because it's still cold, but generally and it's the it's not officially spring, but it's the astrological spring on the 1st of March. So that makes sense. And that is the colour. When I said I bring in this like beautiful white light from the highest possible source, this is what I bring in. And that is about abundance and regeneration. The sacred inner space. Again, this looks very much like what I do. And often when we speak into the ether, this is the message I'm getting, they're telling me that as I speak into the ethers, this is what is generated. So that is for all of us. As we bring in light and we ground ourselves, we bring in from the highest possible source and ground it into Mother Gaia. This is what it looks like. And it also helps us open our sacral chakra, which is about tenderness and sensuality. So that's a beautiful card. And then the Chamber of the Violet Flame, karmic release and radical transformation. So that's burning all of the old, right, releasing it. And there's the violet flame. It almost looks like there's a person in there to me doing this. It almost looks like a Buddha. So one of the things that one of my gifts that have come online is seeing into paintings and other things. And I did that in a painting that Dina did. So that is, to me, as I look at it, is Buddha doing this. So stay tuned for that. You never know what's going to happen with these cards today, right? So this is the angels and auras. And this is what we need to know for this week. We being those that who are open to hearing this message. This is for you, and it's about stepping into March, stepping into spring, stepping into a new light, and the aquamarine, which is connected to oceans and mermaids. I don't have mermaid cards. How about that? So maybe I need to look for mermaid cards. So I've also been posting a lot this week of Adriana Garay's wisdom. She's somebody who is connected to Lara Star and the SRT and Lost Soul Rescue. She also is a trans channel, and beautiful wisdom, beautiful. So I don't make any apologies for sharing other people's work and giving them credit. So I love it when it resonates. Oftentimes when I read it, I feel I knew that, and it's confirmation. Oh, see the humour. So you see, I talked about this, about humour. There's two dogs playing cards, so that's humorous. It is levity, perspective, wisdom, and playful. So all the things I talked about. As we say, you can't make this stuff up, right? This one is communication, accuracy, expression, intimacy, and honest. And when Mercury is retrograde, it can sometimes affect communication. I'm reading not so much this one, but just be aware of your communication. I saw a meme which Mercury was speaking and said that they weren't going to mess with our internet and stuff, but that has been happening. So, and that could be for a whole lot of other reasons. And the last one is angelics are, or angels are watching over you. So there we go. And of course, it's right in front of my angel aura stone, which I put outside actually before it snowed a while back, and it got buried. So it's very clean and very active. And then here's the fairies. So let's see what their message is, because they're saying they've been feeling a bit left out, because here in the northeast we're still buried in snow. This is they're telling me, I've heard this from them before, they're like very tired of the squirrels because they've been upsetting the fairies. I have like kamikaze squirrels, I think. They've been burrowing under the snow to get to my back patio to feed. And I was out there the other day clearing some snow, and suddenly one just like popped up, and it was like, I don't know who was more scared, him or me. So they're funny as well. And this winter I've had 6, because even though my intention is not to feed them, they come and get some food because it's nuts. So the fairies, new opportunity. So that goes along with being the first of the year and stepping into new opportunities. And the purple again, or another purple one. New location. This came up the other day. Do you remember? Oh, it's yelling at me about new location. So I will take that under advisement. I've got purple and lilac here. And letting go. So this could be for all of us. This is about letting go of what no longer serves you. Is always good practice, because holding on to what isn't serving us serves no purpose other than to keep us stuck. It also causes a lot of anxiety, being stuck, not the moving forward. So by practicing letting go, and I've shared this with you, this is something I've practiced over the last few years, because I was tired of like hanging on to, I don't even know, it's a bit like hoarding, right? Like, why do we hold on to things? I really do have to start practicing that more, because I know my mother used to say this, and I'm finding myself saying it. It's like, oh, you're going to be so mad at me when I die because you're going to have all this stuff to clear out. And I say to my kids, like, you'll go to the storage and you go, why was she paying for this storage? Because it's stuff that I can't let go. Well, they're photographs. I mean, I'm not sure what you do with ex's photos. My kids are not interested in them. I've asked them. We have several. I mean, I come from the era, right, in the 90s, where you had photographs done of your kids and you put them around the house. You had like the family one. I have a couple of really nice ones when I was divorced, very casual, lying on the floor. But we have a couple of like portraits with the ex and the kids and all coordinating. I struggle with that. But I think that's because I can't let go of that. So that's why I'm struggling with it. It's like, do you just throw them away? Do you shred them? What do you do with them? So I want to be, I don't know. So I do that with clothes. I do it with a lot of things, and a lot of us, I think, having been a single parent, I had to hang on to things. I'm always a person that is just in case. So I may have mentioned this before, but I was a visiting nurse, or equivalent to a visiting nurse in England for many years, and literally my trunk, or the back of my car was like a hospital. It had everything you think of: bandages, gauze, medicine. I mean, everything I needed to work with the families that I was going to, and the just in case. And there were many times that came in handy, and I sort of carried that on because I will walk around with things just in case in my pocketbooks. So I've had to make my pocketbooks smaller because at one point I would like struggle to work with several bags. I still feel a bit like the bag lady because I have to take my lunch, a bag, my computer, all of that stuff. But I'm getting better at it. And I think what I want to be is the person that they go, oh, wow, she cleared everything out. Not, oh, crap, we've got to throw all this out. Because I know they're boys. They would just get a bag and they would just sweep it all in and say, I have no idea why she kept all this. So I need to honour that myself. So I guess I've given myself a job to do this spring. Every spring I go, I'm going to take a few days off and I'm going to tackle that storage. So far I haven't. I've actually planned a couple of days off in March, a couple of days before my birthday because it's on a Saturday. But I've already planned stuff. But that's okay. I just need some time off work, and maybe I just need to take some time off just to do that. So before I end, I wanted to also talk about how my son has been doing so much better. The last 4 or 5 weeks, he's gone to a day program, and with that combined with doing some energy work and taking back his power. So I'm very much seeing that people that have mental health challenges, that have had some not nice stuff happen to them during their childhood or whatever, that have given them what is right now looking like mental illness, that grounding, calling in their angels, calling in their help, whether it be dragons, but dragons seem to really enjoy helping. So I guess the reason I'm saying this is, if you have loved ones that are mentally health challenged, even depression, anxiety, all of that stuff, connect with me and let's talk about what I can offer you. I can certainly offer guidance. I mean, what I'm hoping to do with the spirit release therapy is to be able to work with, and dragons have shown me like doing this sort of work. And actually, even when I passed a friend of mine's daughter over a couple of weeks ago, she even said that I have that experience to help people with the loss, with what do you do after you've had a clearing. And it's not easy for some people. Some of us just like, oh, that makes sense. Other people are like, oh, grounding, they struggle with. So you can always, I do a 45-minute free 45-minute check-in with me if you want to talk about how do you ground. There's lots of different ways to do it. There's no wrong way, but you need to do it. And I've also started connecting with the galactic, or going out. And I said this last time, I literally put my hands up and see roots coming out of my hands into the ethers. So I'm connecting to that higher energy. And if you want to work with dragons, you need to be able to connect really well to much higher frequencies than we're used to here. So that's how most of us work, is that we either naturally tap into that higher frequency. For me, I apparently have worked with dragons every lifetime. I had to remember, that was all. Wouldn't believe that, but apparently I needed to be woken up to do that. And those memories are coming back. So that's even more interesting, right? That sounds like another chapter. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing yet. But anyway, I hope that these messages are what you needed. If you connected today, you probably needed to hear this. I'm sending lots of love out into the world. I think that's all we can do right now, is to hold. A lot of us that chose to come here at this time was to hold that frequency. Raise your frequency, ground yourself in, and be the beacon, is what I'm just going to say, because there's a lot of things we can't do to change, but there's a lot of things we can do to help Mother Gaia and to keep the energy as high. The frequency is what they're telling me. They're showing me it's sort of doing this, and we need to raise it up higher. So when you have time or you think about it, ground yourself and just ask for the frequency of the earth to rise. It's a tough time. So my love goes out to everybody in the world. It goes out to all of you. If you would like, I did post on my Facebook page the services that I'm offering. I often forget to talk about what I offer, but that's just me. You can go to my website, which is www.eastcoastdragonlady.com. They're all there, but they're also on my Facebook page. So if you have questions, please connect with me. If not, I will be back next week. So have a good week.